some. This is going to be so much fun.
I know.
Hi, this is Dawn Thomson, relationships coach and general fantastic therapist, talking to my lovely friend, Judith Paterson. You guys might know her because she's a director of Balanced Physiotherapy, um, a physiotherapy company that has three or four bases around Edinburgh
Yep,
and
that's right.
has been going for 20 years, I think, but longer.
22.
Wow.
Yeah, I
So
know.
good.
I
It's
know.
amazing. And these podcasts, just in case you don't really know, this is the first one. They're all going to be about words. So I'm just going to have a word with Jude. And Jude has a word that we're going to discuss today because I'm of the belief that words carry their own vibration and they can be a theme. They can, there's my mum, sorry everybody. Um, they can be a theme for people. They can wound, but they can also heal and inspire. And so we're just going to talk about what words are coming through for people when I talk to them. So Jude,
Perfect.
I think that you have a little word for us. How are you? How are you feeling?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm really excited. I've never done anything like this. So, yeah, it's a first for me as well. So,
Going in
yeah, and I'm
together.
glad to be doing it with you, my friend.
Thank you, darling. I am so happy to be doing it with you too. So, listen, tell me about your word.
Well, my word is a word that I think most people will be surprised about because I don't think it's a word that most of my friends and family would associate with me. And the word is limbo, not to be confused with libido, which is often what I say in mistake.
Particularly not for the Generation X's of us who are listening.
Exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. So limbo's my word, and the reason I think people wouldn't associate it with me is I don't really stand still
Mm.
physically and just in terms of business. And I'm not referring to my business at all with this word because that is very progressive. I'm referring more to my personal life
Right.
and just how I feel going into the second stage of life, really. I'm 55 this year and I separated just over a year ago. So I really do feel like I'm in a transitional period. And I don't think of limbo as being a negative word. I feel of it as being a word of waiting. I'm waiting to see what's coming next. So it's not that I'm standing still, I'm just waiting.
Do you know what? I love that because so many people think of words like limbo and words like waiting as a static,
Mm.
inactive place. But actually, waiting is a thing. You are doing something.
Yeah.
And, and if you are in limbo, then it doesn't feel scary to you then, Jude, from what
No, not at all. It feels exciting.
Mm.
It's exciting to see what life is going to bring. Um, yeah. So there's lots of things I would say. So I've got my two boys living at home. So I'm waiting to see what happens with them
Mhm.
because obviously Charlie, my eldest, he's just coming out of the Navy, so that's why he's come home just now. Nick's working, but eventually they'll want to get their own place. They're in their 20s. So I'm waiting for that.
How does
Waiting
it
for
feel
when
having
they
two
go.
kind of grown men essentially
It is,
in
yeah,
your
exactly.
house? How does that feel
Exactly.
while you're in this limbo state? Because does that mean that limbo is a place it extends to all three of you then?
Yes, it does actually. Yeah, it does because Charlie doesn't know what his next job's going to be. So he's wanting to do something in engineering. He doesn't know where it'll be.
Mm.
Um, and Nick's wanting to go to Australia for a while. So we're all just waiting for these things to happen. And also the place that I'm living just now, I don't feel that's my permanent or forever home. It was something that was purchased so that the boys had somewhere local. They had their own rooms to come back to, that they didn't feel that when we were moving from the family home that they no longer had a place to stay.
Sure.
But it's not somewhere that I would have chosen for myself. So I feel, there'll be another move in me once I know what they're doing,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. And does that feel like you're being not held back, but there's a little bit of, are you having to put yourself to the back a little
A
bit?
little bit, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I do love where I'm staying, and it was good for me as well because it was a new build home. So I knew I could come into it without having to worry about repairs and things like that. So it was a very easy move. The floors were done, the painting was done, it was all nice and clean and fresh, etc. But I knew that really where I want to live is Stockbridge. That's what I'm aiming for. But I couldn't have afforded a 3-bedroom place in Stockbridge, so this was the stopgap until we see where everybody is in a few years.
And that kind of brings me to my next question about this limbo not being a static place of unknowing in a way.
Mm.
How much of I do get what you mean, because I felt really strongly the same a few months ago. I called it the in between, kind of like when I'd left
We
somewhere.
are the in-betweeners.
Yeah. I don't know. Don't get into my past, Jude. People don't know it the way you know it, but I felt like I was almost like I'd left a shore and I was kind of on the water bobbing, and the other shore seemed quite distant.
Mm.
Actually, now, as I kind of consciously put things into place in terms of what I want, only in terms of things of what I want, the shore seems to be, I seem to be closer to the shore. And I wondered,
Yes.
does that resonate with you? How do you feel? I mean, are you just allowing and seeing what happens?
I
Or
I kind of am. I'm not stressing about it. I know I've got direction. I know where I want to go. I just need a few other things to fit into place before I can get there. That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
that's the kind of key thing.
And what kind of things are they, if you don't mind my asking? Was it secret? Are there a couple?
Well, no, just the boys the boys moving on is probably the biggest thing. Much as I want to have them in the house, that needs to happen. But there's also, as you get to the age we're at, you need to start thinking about retiral, about exit plans, especially having a business. It's
Yeah,
where's that going to go?
yeah.
And the business is still very much growing just now, but there'll be a point where there'll need to be a decision made as to how long I work physically as a physio. That's one thing. So that's one of the decisions I need to make fairly soon, is do I actually continue to practice and treat patients, or do I just move fully into the management side of things? So there's lots of kind of little decisions that are waiting to be made, but I'm not quite needing to make them yet or ready to make them yet. That's the
And
kind of thing I
when
think.
you do plan, and when you do want to make a decision on something, how do you do that? How do you
Well, I'm sort of known for being quite snappy usually, like I make some rash decisions. So I tend to be in, either side of that. So sometimes I just, boom, I'm doing it and I have to do it straight away. Like my brain just goes, that needs to be done immediately, which can be frustrating for my business partner. It can be frustrating for my family as well. And then there's other things that I kind of procrastinate around because I just feel I'm not quite ready to make that decision. But when I do make a decision, I tend to, that's it. I don't turn away from it, and I go all out to reach that goal, I suppose.
think that's really nice, because it kind of demonstrates that when you made a decision, you've made it, and because you're acting on
Yes,
it, and if
yes.
you're not acting on it, the decision's not quite.
It's not made. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
made. It doesn't mean you've not got direction. It doesn't mean you've not got goals. You're just not acting on them, I
Mhm.
suppose, is the thing.
So limbo doesn't feel restrictive for you in any way.
No, it doesn't. And I just think it's a lovely word. I love the sound of it. I love the fact that it's a fantastic dance, if you want to say that. We've not even talked about that side of
And
things.
do you know what?
I'm very good at limbo.
You know what? I'm just so jealous because to me, limbo is more of a workout and an
Yeah, I
ordeal
know.
than a dance.
Yeah,
The way you said
I
it's a dance,
know.
I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
kind of, yeah.
I wonder how limbo dancing got the name from limbo. Do you know what I mean?
No, do you know what? We should look that
Might
up
need to
because
Google
I
that.
don't know. Because whenever I think of words, the first thing I think of is if it's not a word that's in my consciousness at the time, so like limbo,
Mm.
what I do is work out how much it is in Scrabble.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Scrabble.
That's
I'm like,
probably all right, actually, limbo.
you know what? An M and a
Yeah,
B, C on a triple
yeah.
word score when you've run out of letters and
Oh,
all
you
some random.
laughing winner.
The winner. Everyone's fed up. They've got a couple of A's left and a J or something. Limbo,
And you
limbo.
crack that
Oh, girl. I love a bit of Scrabble. So yeah,
out.
for sure. And yeah, I love the word as well because it feels, how does it feel to you when you say it? What does it feel like?
It's just a word you want to repeat. Limbo. I just like the boo. It's limbo. You know how some words when you repeat them they just sound really stupid the more you say them? Like umbrella. I think umbrella sounds very stupid. And that's my address, Umbrella Pine Terrace. Every time I
Oh,
say it, I think, what a ridiculous address is that? Because I just can't stand the word umbrella. But
well.
limbo, I quite like.
And
I think
it's
it's quite a
got
cool word.
rhythm, doesn't it? It
It
sounds rhythmic.
has
And
got
you know,
rhythm.
limbo, it's got a bit of, do
Yes.
you want to move? I'm already moving, talking
And
about
we like a bit of dance.
we do. Keeps you
Mm-hmm.
moving.
Mm-hmm.
Umbrellas, not so much.
Not so keen on umbrellas, no.
No, sorry,
Oh, my
Rihanna.
word.
But yeah, your word is fab. And
Thank you.
and because I think that a lot of us, particularly a lot of us at our stage, the Gen X stage, 50s, sandwich generation,
Mm.
does feel in limbo, but maybe
Yeah.
not in a way that is as positive as it is for you, you know?
Yeah, maybe. I think you're probably right. I mean, it's that you're at that stage where you think you've probably got less life than you've had, which is, difficult to get your head around.
Okay.
Although I am convinced I'm going to live to 110, so I'm probably just about halfway.
Are you going to live to 110 limboing, or are you going to be, so the thing is, it's okay living long.
I know it's
You're
living
just sitting in
well.
it. Yeah, if you're
Hmm.
sitting in a chair
Yeah,
staring.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Yeah, I'd rather have 80 really good years than 110 with the last 30 not being so pleasant. But I don't intend that. I intend to live well to 110.
Well, listen, if you're going to live to 110, I'm a year older than you, aren't I? So I'll be 111, so it'll be all good.
Oh, perfect.
There's always there's someone older than you. It's always like, I'm
Yeah,
younger, I feel great.
exactly. Yeah.
Good luck.
I'm the youngest.
That's the 40-old chick there,
I know.
dancing to Unfinished Sympathy, that old kind of
Mm.
classical music thing that I'll be playing
Yeah.
in the club, in the nursing home even. Yeah, I think that limbo is an interesting word, particularly for us at the stage we're at, because like you say, we're finishing so much stuff.
Yeah.
Our kids are starting. Are we?
Yeah.
What are we starting? And if we've got, both sides, we've got
Mm.
parents that we've got to look after, I know maybe not very well or needing more care no matter what. Plus
Hmm.
kids who
Yeah.
are growing up still need us.
I know, I know, so that's the other thing. I mean, obviously, I'm living without a partner just now as well, and that's something I would like for future. That's the other thing that's in limbo, I suppose, for me is that kind of partnership, and it is much harder. I don't regret my separation, but it is so much harder doing things on your own. Especially when you've got the two boys there, although they're completely self-sufficient, there's still things that you do for them, and it's
And there's
uh
not that moment, is there, where, if they do something really annoying, you can't just turn to somebody and go, oh, for God's
I know exactly.
sake.
You're not sharing that that side of things. I mean, they're very good. They take the bins out and they do their own washing and they do their own ironing and everything, but you're still kind of doing most of the running of the house on your own. And the dog walking. Twice a day I'm out with that blinking dog.
What I was going to say, the mental load and the dog thing.
Yeah.
No one, and we always get caught and we always think they did say they were going to walk the dog, and
Oh,
we
yeah.
knew deep down they wouldn't. And now that they're
Yeah.
not, it's like, please.
I enjoy walking the dog, but it does sometimes feel like twice a day is quite a lot out of your day. She had slowed down a lot recently and she wasn't going out for such long walks. And then they discovered she had arthritis in her hip. So they've started her on anti-inflammatories. It's like giving a baby Calpol. She is literally like a puppy again, and I'm delighted for her. If
But
she brings that ball to me one more time, it drops at my feet.
yeah, it's the way that my dog will, like, he'll be like, do you want to play? And if I'm really tired, I'll be like, I can't really play. And he literally will make sure he drops the thing right on my foot and the
Yeah,
most painful bit in that
yeah,
car.
always.
Okay then. So, I get that. And so for you, Limbo is just a lovely little space at the moment.
Yes, exactly. It's like a little comfy waiting room.
Oh, I love that. Is there coffee?
There's
And
everything.
there's pastries.
There's whatever you want.
I think I'll come and join you there, babe. That sounds all right.
There's a seat right beside me, Dawn.
Listen, I'm coming. As it's and actually in reality, I am in limbo as well. I'm starting something new and I'm saying
You
goodbye to
are.
stuff. So actually it's really interesting and incisive in a way that you've said that, because I'm like, that's for me as well. And
We're in the same spot.
we're in the same spot and neither of us are freaking out about it, because actually
No,
sometimes you
good
spend
things come.
they do, and they will
Yeah.
also pass. And that's
Yes,
to remember.
yes,
They will also, and that's why it's called limbo. It's not a place
yeah.
that you stay in. It
No, no, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
can be,
I think I might need a t-shirt with Limbo on it.
oh, that
I
would
think
be
I'll get one printed.
fantastic. I want one.
I'll get one for both of us.
Maybe a cat.
Yeah, or a cap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you know what?
Mhm.
Because and the other thing is that we're not these. I love our generation so much because we are not going into aging without going down without some kind of fight. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We're not having it. We're not having that
No,
aging thing. And I
no,
think about my mum
absolutely.
at 55. I am certainly not that old.
No. Hmm.
And I think the whole,
I
51
see
club
that in
thing.
clinic as well with the even older generation. They're so active. When I think about my grandparents, they retired and they did Scrabble. They read the newspaper. They sat on the sofa. People brought them cups of tea, that kind of thing. Whereas now, people in their 70s and 80s, they're golfing, they're running, they're playing paddle, they're living a really, really active life.
Yeah.
And it's quite different. There's just so many more opportunities for people to stay active now.
And to be vital and to not retire unless you want to. The thought of me
Yes.
retiring and not being able to help people transform their lives. I'm like, what would I do? Because I
Yeah.
love Scrabble, but there's only so much Scrabble before I'm like, I'd rather be someone, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's it. Retirement's so different for each individual. Like the retirement age is different for everybody. People have the opportunity to work part-time and be semi-retired. It's not a case of, you're working 1 minute and then you stop the next minute. It can be a gradual process, or it can be whatever you need it to be, as long as your finances allow.
well, that's the thing, isn't it? So yeah,
Yeah.
I'll carry on working.
I think a lot of people will be working a lot longer because of that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like you say, the reality is you could live to 110. So what,
Mm,
retire at 60 or 65 or whatever. That's like
yeah, I know. Ages.
ages away.
Yeah.
So, I do think that that's where limbo can be a really creative and interesting place to be, because,
Mm,
say, almost partly future proofing what you're doing, but also
hmm
making sure that what we're going into next in our next phase is what we genuinely want,
Want,
not
yeah.
something our parents dreamt for us, not what school thought we should do,
Yes.
just,
Can be a little bit more selfish.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And for
Yeah.
us women, the lack of estrogen and that whole, oh, I'll have your babies thing. No, that's gone like that. No.
I know. I
Absolutely.
know. That's a whole other podcast, Dawn.
Babes, it truly is.
Um,
But actually, it segues nicely into the second portion of our little chat, which
yes.
is, and so for people who don't know this and a little bit younger, there was a really cool film called Lethal Weapon, which is one of my husband's favorites. I can quote it word for word practically. And it was these this very what do you call him? Steadfast kind of copper, and then this young gun who was Mel Gibson, who was basically a maverick, and they got partnered together. And the older guy was his character was a guy called Roger Murtaugh. Danny
Mhm.
Glover is the actor that played him, but he would look at Mel Gibson, this young buck, and he'd be like, "Oh, I'm too old for this shit." Every time a maverick behavior came out. And, now that I'm in my 50s, I literally am too old for this shit. And I see that on Instagram, there's this great woman who's done this We Do Not Care thing as well. And, I actually thought I'd call the podcast I'm too old for this shit, but I didn't want it to be all about, I didn't want it to be negative.
Yeah.
Jude, you're
Yes.
55 now. You've
Not
lived
quite in September.
54 and three quarters.
Yes, that's the one.
Mhm. What would you say you are too old for to put up with anymore?
It is sweating the small stuff. It's just that, let it go. That's not worth the worry. That's done. As my sister would say, park it and move on. I quote that a lot.
And
Um,
give me an example of where you're doing that really well. What was it?
I'm doing it at work a lot. So a lot of the younger physios will come to me and they'll say, "Oh, this happened," and they expecting me to be upset or annoyed or something. And I'll just go, "I'm not worried about that. That's fine. You've dealt with that really well. Good. Let's move on," kind of thing. So um, I'm very, with staff, especially if they're doing a really good job. Everybody has times where things don't quite go to plan, etc. And they're really good at coming and telling me and fessing up if something's not going quite as they want it to go. And I just, look at it, and if it's not worth worrying about, don't worry about it.
That's a massive gift to be able to give your staff, actually. You know,
Yes.
say that you're open enough to let them know that actually it's not that big of an issue, and that will make them come to you more and more.
Yes. Well, a lot of particularly physios are perfectionists. They want to do 100% all the time. And you just can't do that when you're dealing with the public. There are so many barriers to people getting better. And it's, if somebody's not improving in the way that you would hope they would improve, it's not necessarily your fault. It's not the physio, it's all the barriers that that patient maybe has with them. And these are very difficult to break down and overcome. So sometimes it's just that reassurance, like we can't fix everybody. We can't fix everybody to 100%. We can only do the best we can do.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I think I mentioned to you my grandfather when I was growing up used to always say, if nobody's going to die and nobody's going to get hurt, don't even worry about it. And I can still remember him saying that, when I was in my teens and 20s and thinking, oh, what does he know? This is, when some little tiny thing has happened to you that's a disaster in your small world at that time. And I used to find it quite irritating, when he would say these things. I just think, oh, how can you say that? It's a big thing to me. But I think about that a lot now and realize it's true. There are very, very few things that are worth worrying about. And a lot of the times people are worrying about things that don't even happen. So,
Oh,
that's the other thing is don't worry unless it's actually taking place.
yeah. And actually, in reality, there is nothing to worry about, because if it's taking place in the here and now, you're going to do something about it. Your resilience always
Yes,
kicks
got
in
to
because you've
react.
always got that.
Mm,
So worry is a waste of energy because,
Totally.
if it's in the future, hasn't happened yet, it's unlikely it's going to happen. If it's happening
Yeah.
at the moment, you're dealing with it.
Hmm.
It's one of these things that I don't know, we've been conditioned to do, thinking it's a good thing, and it's just
Yeah,
not helpful at all.
not at all.
And how do you find that you can how do you not sweat the small stuff with the kids, kids that they are?
Um, well, they're pretty good. I mean, again, I just think, there's a lot of it's damage limitation. You can coach them. They won't necessarily do what you're suggesting they do in their lives. And I think a lot of the time people have got to make their own mistakes. So, I've always parented in that way. Let them make a few mistakes and then, but guide them. Obviously, if they're going to do something awful, then you need to step in. But even just on the sort of physical risk side of things, my mum and dad always used to say, "Oh, I can't believe you're letting the boys do that. Oh, they're jumping off that rock. That's not safe." And I just would teach them how to jump. This
Wow.
is how you jump, that you've got to check that there's nothing on the ground. That's, teach them how to risk assess. And then, sort of close your eyes and hope for the best. But again, it hasn't happened, nothing's happened. So don't worry about it.
Exactly, for sure. And can I ask you, how does that translate for you being you? Because, the amount of pressure that we would put on ourselves as women growing up to be the shapeliest, the bendiest, and the best at everything.
Mm.
You feel that not giving so much of a shit has helped you as a person?
Yes, I think it probably has. I've never been somebody that compares themselves to other people particularly. I've always just kind of done my own thing. I mean, growing up, you do try and fit in, obviously, and I was lucky, I had lots and lots of friends, but I mean, it's taken me to this age to work out what to do with this hair. So you can imagine when I was a teenager what this looked like with, brushing it and,
Oh,
oh gosh, honestly, I'm going through photos the other day and I was just thinking, who let me out the house like that?
they didn't know what to do either. They're like that. Okay, you're
No, well,
fine.
my mum clearly didn't, but
Bye. Your hair is beautiful though, but yeah, but it's
oh,
one of those things.
thank you.
Hair is one of those things that you hate as a child. You hate your hair as a kid.
Oh yeah,
You're
yeah.
like,
Oh, I think as a child, it's the one thing I would have changed. And now as an adult, it's my crowning glory. I love it now because I've figured out what to do with it. Um,
and it
yeah.
looks amazing. So much of it.
Oh, thank you.
My slight, that way when you get through your menopause, you're like, oh, my hair's
Here is it.
where is my hair? For sure. But
Uh,
so yeah, so actually, it sounds like you're in a really good place, lovely.
I am. I feel like I am. Yeah. Yeah. No, I am. Yeah. I look forward to each day, and I've got plenty going on. I've got a very fulfilled life and loads of friends and great work colleagues and my boys, of course, as well. So it's a good time. It's a
Oh,
good time in this limbo time.
yeah, because I guess as well, it doesn't, from what you're saying, it sounds like it doesn't feel like limbo because the gratitude and the love you have.
Yeah, I
It's
guess
okay.
so. Yeah.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm grateful for everything in the past. I've got lots to reflect on and I've done a lot of learning over the last few years, that's for sure. And hopefully I'll take all that forward into whatever's in store.
Oh,
Mm.
Judith Paterson, that is lovely. I think that we are going to end the podcast there. And I'm going to do I know me and my cultural references. I'm just going to say thank you so much for sharing all of that with me and whoever's listening. And I hope whoever's listening gets something from that, because it's such a lovely message to say it's okay to be in limbo.
Yeah.
Like it there. As
Mm.
with the string
Enjoy it.
to the
Enjoy
neck.
it. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I love that. People, this episode of our podcast has been brought to you by me, with Jude, and about the word limbo. Thank you so much for listening.
Yay!
Thank you, Jude.
Bye.